So hello everyone, let's start essay 230. Quick revision. This will be a quick revision session. This is not going to be a regular session. This is going to be a quick revision session of essay 230. Okay. Yes. So essay 230 is audit documentation. And then audit documentation. So before going to audit documentation, let's understand what is audit evidence. And then audit evidence, any information collected by the auditor so that he can express his opinion. We know what is the objective of the auditor. What is the objective of the auditor? To express opinion. So to express opinion, എനിക്ക് opinion express ചെയ്യുന്നതിന് വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് എന്ത് information ആണ് help ചെയ്യുന്നത്? That information is audit evidence. For the purpose of expressing opinion, whatever information I'm using, whatever information that is collected by the auditor, that information is called audit evidence. Okay, now then what is audit procedure? The procedure by which an auditor collects evidence. What is the objective of the auditor? To express opinion. So to express opinion, he needs audit evidence. So the procedure by which he collects the audit evidence, the procedure by which the auditor collects the audit evidence, that is called audit procedure. So what is audit procedure? The procedure by which an auditor obtains audit evidence. The procedure by which an auditor obtains audit evidence. Yes. ഇനി ഈ ചാർട്ട് എല്ലാവരും നന്നായിട്ട് ഈ ചാർട്ട് നോക്കിയേ. എല്ലാവരും നന്നായിട്ട് ചാർട്ട് നോക്കിയിട്ട് എന്താ സംഭവിക്കുന്നത് ഈ ചാർട്ടിനകത്ത്? എന്താ സംഭവിക്കുന്നത് ഈ ചാർട്ടിനകത്ത്? ഓക്കെ, ഇവിടെ ഓഡിറ്റർ ഉണ്ട്. ഓഡിറ്ററിന്റെ ഒബ്ജക്റ്റീവ് എന്താണ്? ടു എക്സ്പ്രസ് ഒപ്പീനിയൻ. എന്താണ്? ടു എക്സ്പ്രസ് ഒപ്പീനിയൻ. ഇൻ ഓർഡർ ടു എക്സ്പ്രസ് ഒപ്പീനിയൻ എനിക്ക് എന്ത് വേണം? എനിക്ക് ഓഡിറ്റ് എവിഡൻസ് വേണം. എന്ത് വേണം? ഓഡിറ്റ് എവിഡൻസ്. എങ്ങനത്തെ ഓഡിറ്റ് എവിഡൻസ് വേണം? സഫീഷ്യന്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള, അപ്രോപ്രിയേറ്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഓഡിറ്റ് എവിഡൻസ് വേണം. എങ്ങനത്തെ ഓഡിറ്റ് എവിഡൻസ് വേണം? സഫീഷ്യന്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള, അപ്രോപ്രിയേറ്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഓഡിറ്റ് എവിഡൻസ് വേണം. സർ എങ്ങനെയാ സർ ഓഡിറ്റ് എവിഡൻസ് കിട്ടുന്നത്? ബൈ പെർഫോമിംഗ് ഓഡിറ്റ് പ്രൊസീജിയേഴ്സ്. അല്ലെ? അതല്ലേ ഇവിടെ കണ്ടോ നിങ്ങൾ? ഓഡിറ്റ് പ്രൊസീജിയേഴ്സ് ചെയ്താൽ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് എന്ത് കിട്ടും? ഓഡിറ്റ് എവിഡൻസ് കിട്ടും. എന്ത് കിട്ടും നിങ്ങൾക്ക്? ഓഡിറ്റ് എവിഡൻസ് കിട്ടും. ഓക്കെ ആവടാ? ഓക്കെ ആവടാ? യെസ്. ഈ ഓഡിറ്റ് എവിഡൻസ് കിട്ടിയാൽ നിങ്ങൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്യും? ഈ കിട്ടിയ ഓഡിറ്റ് എവിഡൻസ് വെച്ച് നിങ്ങൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്യും? യു വിൽ ഇവാലുവേറ്റ് ആൻഡ് ഡ്രോ കൺക്ലൂഷൻ. യു വിൽ ഇവാലുവേറ്റ് ആൻഡ് ഡ്രോ കൺക്ലൂഷൻ. Once you draw conclusion, from your conclusion you will form an opinion. This opinion is what you are going to express. Your objective, express opinion. Where will you express opinion? We will express opinion in the audit report. ഈ ഒരു ഫ്ലോ മനസ്സിലായോ നിങ്ങൾക്ക്? ഈ ഒരു ഫ്ലോ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് മനസ്സിലായോ? ഹലോ ഹലോ ഹലോ, ഈ ഒരു ഫ്ലോ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് മനസ്സിലായോ? ഓഡിറ്റിന്റെ ഫ്ലോ ആണ്. ഓഡിറ്ററിന്റെ ഒബ്ജക്റ്റീവ് ഇസ് ടു എക്സ്പ്രസ് ഒപ്പീനിയൻ. ഒപ്പീനിയൻ എക്സ്പ്രസ് ചെയ്യണമെങ്കിൽ എനിക്ക് എന്ത് വേണം? ഒപ്പീനിയൻ എക്സ്പ്രസ് ചെയ്യണമെങ്കിൽ എനിക്ക് എന്ത് വേണം? എന്ത് വേണം? എനിക്ക് എവിഡൻസ് വേണം. എങ്ങനത്തെ എവിഡൻസ്? സഫീഷ്യന്റ് ആൻഡ് അപ്രോപ്രിയേറ്റ്. എങ്ങനെ എവിഡൻസ് കളക്ട് ചെയ്യും? ഓഡിറ്റ് പ്രൊസീജിയേഴ്സ് വെച്ച് എവിഡൻസ് കളക്ട് ചെയ്യും. എങ്ങനെ എവിഡൻസ് കളക്ട് ചെയ്യും? ഓഡിറ്റ് പ്രൊസീജിയേഴ്സ് വെച്ചിട്ട്. എവിഡൻസ് കിട്ടിയാൽ ഞാൻ അതിന് എന്ത് ചെയ്യും? ഐ വിൽ ഇവാലുവേറ്റ് ആൻഡ് ഡ്രോ കൺക്ലൂഷൻ. ഐ വിൽ ഇവാലുവേറ്റ് ആൻഡ് ഡ്രോ കൺക്ലൂഷൻ. From the conclusion, I will form an opinion. I will form an opinion. From the opinion, I am going to express the opinion. Whatever opinion I have found, I am going to express. Where? In the audit report. Where? In the audit report. Sir, why are you explaining this? Right now, we are learning essay 230. What is essay 230? 230 is the audit documentation. And the essay 230 audit documentation. Sir, what is audit documentation? Audit ചെയ്ത സമയത്ത് നിങ്ങൾ എന്തൊക്കെ ഓഡിറ്റ് പ്രൊസീജിയേഴ്സ് ആണോ പെർഫോം ചെയ്തിട്ടുള്ളത്? What all audit procedures you have performed? Okay, what will happen when you perform audit procedures? See, when you perform audit procedures, you will get audit evidence. So what all audit evidence you have obtained? From the audit evidence, you will draw conclusion. What all conclusion you have drawn? It is a record of these three things. And it's a record of audit procedures performed, audit evidences obtained, and the conclusion drawn. So what is audit documentation? It's a record of audit procedures performed, audit evidences obtained, and conclusion drawn. Audit procedures ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് എന്താ കിട്ടുക? നമുക്ക് എവിഡൻസ് കിട്ടും. എവിഡൻസ് കൊണ്ട് നമ്മൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്യും? നമ്മൾ കൺക്ലൂഷൻ ഫോം ചെയ്യും. So it's a record of three things. What is audit documentation? It's a record of three things. എന്തൊക്കെയാണ്? Audit evidences obtained, audit procedures performed, and conclusions drawn. Am I clear to you? Yes, sir. അടുത്ത പഠിപ്പിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി പോകുന്ന ഓഡിറ്റ് ഫയൽ ആണ്. ഓഡിറ്റ് ഫയൽ ആണ്. നമ്മൾ ഈ കിട്ടിയ എവിഡൻസ് ഒക്കെ എവിടെ സൂക്ഷിച്ചു വെക്കേണ്ടത്? ഓഡിറ്റ് ഫയലിൽ സൂക്ഷിച്ചു വെക്കണം. ഇപ്പൊ നമ്മൾ പറഞ്ഞു വാട്ട് ഇസ് ഓഡിറ്റ് ഡോക്യുമെന്റ്സ്? ഇറ്റ്സ് എ റെക്കോർഡ് ഓഫ് ഓഡിറ്റ് പ്രൊസീജിയേഴ്സ്, ഓഡിറ്റ് എവിഡൻസ്. ഈ ഓഡിറ്റ് പ്രൊസീജിയേഴ്സ് ഞാൻ എവിടെ ഡോക്യുമെന്റ് ചെയ്ത് വെക്കേണ്ടത്? ഇൻസൈഡ് ദ ഓഡിറ്റ് ഫയൽ ആണ്. എവിടെയാണ്? ഇൻസൈഡ് ദ ഓഡിറ്റ് ഫയൽ. സോ ഓഡിറ്റ് ഫയൽ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് എന്താണ്? ഓഡിറ്റ് ഫയൽ ക്യാൻ ബി വൺ ഓർ മോർ ഫോൾഡേഴ്സ്. അത് ഫോൾഡേഴ്സ് ആവാം, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ സ്റ്റോറേജ് മീഡിയ ആവാം. പണ്ടൊക്കെ നമ്മൾ ഹാർഡ് കോപ്പി ഫയലിനകത്താണ് എല്ലാം സൂക്ഷിച്ചു വെക്കാറുള്ളത്. റൈറ്റ് നൗ പീപ്പിൾ സ്റ്റാർട്ടഡ് സ്റ്റോറിംഗ് ഓൾ ദർ ഡാറ്റാസ് ഇൻ പെൻ ഡ്രൈവ്, ഹാർഡ് ഡിസ്ക്, or even they may store it in the cloud. Okay, so earlier people used to store their evidences in a hard copy form inside a file. Right now people started storing all these things in a soft copy form inside a pen drive or hard disk or even they will get it uploaded in the cloud. Okay, so it can be in the physical form or electronic form. Electronic form example, cloud, they will upload it in the cloud. Okay, then what is inside this audit file? This audit file contains record. This audit file contains a record of audit documentation for specific engagement. Record for audit documentation for a specific engagement. Am I clear to you? Am I clear to you? So എന്താ ഓഡിറ്റ് ഫയൽ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ എടാ നമ്മുടെ ഫയലില്ലേ, ഈ ഫയലിനകത്താണ് നമ്മൾ ഓഡിറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് കിട്ടുന്ന എവിഡൻസ് ഒക്കെ ഈ ഫയലിനകത്ത് സൂക്ഷിച്ചു വെക്കുക. ഈ ഫയലിനെ വിളിക്കുന്ന പേരാണ് ഓഡിറ്റ് ഫയൽ. ഇറ്റ് ക്യാൻ ബി എ ഫോൾഡർ ഓർ എ സ്റ്റോറേജ് മീഡിയ. അത് ഫിസിക്കൽ ഫോമിലാവാം, ഇലക്ട്രോണിക് ഫോമിലാവാം. ഇതിന്റെ അകത്ത് എന്താ ഉണ്ടാവുക? ഇതിനകത്ത് ഓഡിറ്റ് ഡോക്യുമെന്റേഷന്റെ റെക്കോർഡ് ഉണ്ടാവും. ഏത് ഓഡിറ്റ് ഡോക്യുമെന്റേഷൻ? ഫോർ ഈച്ച് സ്പെസിഫിക് എൻഗേജ്മെന്റ്. ഓരോ വർക്കിനും ഓരോ സ്പെസിഫിക് ആയിട്ട് നമ്മൾ ഓഡിറ്റ് ഫയൽ സൂക്ഷിച്ചു വെക്കും. ഓക്കെ ആണോ? യെസ്. അങ്ങനെയാണെങ്കിൽ അടുത്ത ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ നോക്കിയിട്ട് ഇവിടെ, who will assemble the audit documentation? ആരാണ് ഈ ഓഡിറ്റ് ഡോക്യുമെന്റേഷൻ ഒക്കെ അസംബിൾ ചെയ്യുന്നത്? ഒബ്വിയസ്ലി ഓഡിറ്റർ. ഒബ്വിയസ്ലി ഓഡിറ്റർ. ശരിയല്ലേ? യെസ് സർ. അങ്ങനെയാണെങ്കിൽ ഓക്കെ ഓക്കെ, ഈ ഓഡിറ്റ് ഫയൽ ഉണ്ടല്ലോ, നമ്മൾ ഈ പ്രിപ്പയർ ചെയ്ത ഓഡിറ്റ് ഫയൽ ഉണ്ടല്ലോ, അത് എത്ര വർഷം നമ്മൾ സൂക്ഷിച്ചു വെക്കണം? ഈ പ്രിപ്പയർ ചെയ്ത ഓഡിറ്റ് ഫയൽ നമ്മൾ എത്ര വർഷം സൂക്ഷിച്ചു വെക്കണം? മിനിമം 7 വർഷം എന്നാ പറഞ്ഞത്. എത്ര വർഷം? മിനിമം 7 years. ഈ ഫൈനൽ ഓഡിറ്റ് ഫയൽ ഉണ്ട് സർ. ഈ ഫൈനൽ ഓഡിറ്റ് ഫയലും ഓഡിറ്റ് ഫയലും നമ്മൾ എന്താ വ്യത്യാസം? സർ നേരത്തെ ഓഡിറ്റ് ഫയൽ എന്നല്ലേ പറഞ്ഞത്? ഓഡിറ്റ് ഫയൽ എന്നല്ലേ പറഞ്ഞത്? ഈ ഓഡിറ്റ് ഫയൽ എങ്ങനെ ഫൈനൽ ഓഡിറ്റ് ഫയൽ ആവാം? ഈ ഓഡിറ്റ് ഫയൽ എങ്ങനെയാണ് ഫൈനൽ ഓഡിറ്റ് ഫയൽ ആവുന്നത്? സി, ഓഡിറ്റ് ഫയൽ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ നമ്മൾ ഓഡിറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്ന സമയത്ത് കിട്ടുന്ന എവിഡൻസ് ഒക്കെ നമ്മൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്യും? റെക്കോർഡ് ചെയ്ത് വെക്കും. വൺസ് ഓഡിറ്റ് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഓഡിറ്റ് റിപ്പോർട്ട് ഇഷ്യൂ ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ, ഓഡിറ്റ് റിപ്പോർട്ട് ഇഷ്യൂ ചെയ്ത ദിവസം മുതൽ അവിടുന്ന് 60 ദിവസത്തിനുള്ളിൽ, ഐ റിപ്പീറ്റ്, അവിടുന്ന് 60 ദിവസത്തിനുള്ളിൽ, എത്ര ദിവസത്തിനുള്ളിൽ മക്കളെ? 60 ദിവസത്തിനുള്ളിൽ നമ്മൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്യണം? ഈ ഓഡിറ്റ് ഫയലിനകത്ത് ആവശ്യമില്ലാത്ത കാര്യങ്ങളൊക്കെ എടുത്ത് കളഞ്ഞ് ആവശ്യമുള്ള കാര്യങ്ങളൊക്കെ ഒന്ന് നീറ്റായിട്ട് അറേഞ്ച് ചെയ്ത് വെക്കും. ഈ നീറ്റായിട്ട് കുട്ടപ്പനാക്കി അറേഞ്ച് ചെയ്ത് വെച്ച ഈ കുട്ടപ്പൻ ഫയലിനെ വിളിക്കുന്ന പേരാണ് ഫൈനൽ ഓഡിറ്റ് ഫയൽ. ഈ കുട്ടപ്പൻ ഫയലിനെ വിളിക്കുന്ന പേരാണ് ഫൈനൽ ഓഡിറ്റ് ഫയൽ. ആം ഐ ക്ലിയർ ടു യു? ഒന്നുകൂടി പറയാം, ഒരു തവണ കൂടി പറയാം. സൂക്ഷിച്ച് കേൾക്കണേ, ശ്രദ്ധിച്ച് കേൾക്കണേ, ശ്രദ്ധിച്ച് കേൾക്കണ എല്ലാവരും ശ്രദ്ധിച്ച് കേൾക്കണേ. എന്താണ് ഓഡിറ്റ് ഫയൽ? എന്താണ് ഫൈനൽ ഓഡിറ്റ് ഫയൽ? എന്താണ് ഓഡിറ്റ് ഫയൽ? എന്താണ് ഫൈനൽ ഓഡിറ്റ് ഫയൽ? ഞാനിപ്പോ സേ ഫോർ എക്സാമ്പിൾ, ഞാനിപ്പോ ഫാത്തിമയുടെ കമ്പനിയാണ് ഓഡിറ്റ് ചെയ്തത്. ഫാത്തിമയുടെ കമ്പനി ഓഡിറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്ന സമയത്ത് എനിക്ക് കിട്ടുന്ന എവിഡൻസുകളൊക്കെ ഞാൻ എന്ത് ചെയ്യും? എന്റെ ഓഡിറ്റ് ഫയലിൽ സൂക്ഷിച്ചു വെക്കും. ഓക്കെ ആണോ? കിട്ടുന്ന എവിഡൻസ് ഒക്കെ ഞാൻ എന്ത് ചെയ്യും? എന്റെ ഓഡിറ്റ് ഫയലിൽ സൂക്ഷിച്ചു വെക്കും. ഓക്കെ ആണോ? യെസ് സർ. അങ്ങനെ ഓഡിറ്റ് ഫയലിൽ സൂക്ഷിച്ചു വെച്ചിട്ട് ഓഡിറ്റ് റിപ്പോർട്ട് ഒക്കെ ഇഷ്യൂ ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ വിത്തിൻ 60 ഡേയ്സ്, 60 ഡേയ്സിനുള്ളിൽ ഞാൻ എന്ത് ചെയ്യണം? ഓഡിറ്റ് റിപ്പോർട്ട് ഇഷ്യൂ ചെയ്ത് വിത്തിൻ 60 ഡേയ്സ് ഫ്രം ഡേറ്റ് ഓഫ് ഓഡിറ്റ് റിപ്പോർട്ട്, 60 ഡേയ്സ് ഫ്രം ദ ഡേറ്റ് ഓഫ് ഓഡിറ്റ് റിപ്പോർട്ട് ഞാൻ എന്ത് ചെയ്യും? ഞാൻ എന്റെ ഓഡിറ്റ് ഫയലിനകത്ത് ആവശ്യമില്ലാത്ത എന്തെങ്കിലും ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ എടുത്ത് കളഞ്ഞ് ആവശ്യമുള്ളതൊക്കെ സോർട്ട് ചെയ്ത് കൊളാറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് വൃത്തിക്ക് എടുത്തു വെക്കും. വൃത്തിക്ക് നല്ല കുട്ടപ്പനാക്കി വെക്കും. ഓക്കെ, ഈ കുട്ടപ്പനാക്കി വെച്ച് ഈ ഫയലിനെ വിളിക്കുന്ന പേരാണത് ഫൈനൽ ഓഡിറ്റ് ഫയൽ. സോ കുട്ടപ്പൻ ഫയലിനാണ് നമ്മൾ എന്ത് വിളിക്കുന്നത്? ഫൈനൽ ഓഡിറ്റ് ഫയൽ. സോ എന്താണ് ഫൈനൽ ഓഡിറ്റ് ഫയൽ? നമ്മുടെ കുട്ടപ്പൻ ഫയലാണ്. കുട്ടപ്പൻ ഫയലാണെന്ത്? ഫൈനൽ ഓഡിറ്റ് ഫയൽ. ആം ഐ ക്ലിയർ ടു യു? യെസ്. ഈ കുട്ടപ്പൻ ഫയൽ നമ്മൾ എത്ര വർഷം സൂക്ഷിച്ചു വെക്കണം? 7 years സൂക്ഷിച്ചു വെക്കണം. മിനിമം 7. നമ്മൾ ഓഡിറ്റ് റിപ്പോർട്ട് ഡേറ്റ് ഓഫ് ഓഡിറ്റ് റിപ്പോർട്ടിലെ അവിടുന്ന് 7 വർഷത്തേക്ക് ഈ കുട്ടപ്പൻ ഫയൽ സൂക്ഷിച്ചു വെക്കണം. എത്ര വർഷത്തേക്ക് സൂക്ഷിച്ചു വെക്കണം? 7 വർഷത്തേക്ക്. ഓക്കെ ആണോ? നൗ ലെറ്റ്സ് സി, എത്ര പേർക്ക് ഓർമ്മയുണ്ട് നോക്കാലോ. കുട്ടപ്പൻ ഫയൽ എത്ര ദിവസം കൊണ്ട് ഉണ്ടാക്കണം? ടെൽ മീ, കമന്റ് ഇൻ ദ ചാറ്റ് ബോക്സ്. കുട്ടപ്പൻ ഫയൽ, ഫൈനൽ ഓഡിറ്റ് ഫയൽ എത്ര ദിവസം കൊണ്ട് ഉണ്ടാക്കണം? കമന്റ് ഇൻ ദ ചാറ്റ് ബോക്സ്. കുട്ടപ്പൻ ഫയൽ, ഫൈനൽ ഓഡിറ്റ് ഫയൽ എത്ര ദിവസം കൊണ്ട് ഓഡിറ്റർ ഉണ്ടാക്കണം? വേഗം പറ. കമൻ. 60 ഡേയ്സ് സർ. 60 ഡേയ്സ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ തെറ്റ് കിട്ടും, അടി കിട്ടും. 60 ഡേയ്സ് എവിടുന്ന്? 60 ഡേയ്സ് എവിടുന്ന്? 60 ഡേയ്സ് വിത്തിൻ 60 ഡേയ്സ് എവിടുന്ന്? വിത്തിൻ 60 ഡേയ്സ് ഫ്രം വിച്ച് ഡേറ്റ്? വിത്തിൻ 60 ഡേയ്സ് ഫ്രം, വേഗം പറ. ഫ്രം സബ്മിറ്റിംഗ് ഓഡിറ്റ് റിപ്പോർട്ട്. വെരി ഗുഡ്. ഫ്രം ഓഡിറ്റ് റിപ്പോർട്ട് അല്ലെ? ആഫ്റ്റർ ദ ഓഡിറ്റ് റിപ്പോർട്ട് അല്ലെ? യെസ്, കറക്റ്റ്. സ്നേഹ കറക്റ്റ്, ആസിയ കറക്റ്റ്, ഫാത്തിമ കറക്റ്റ് അല്ലെ? സോ 60 ഡേയ്സ് ഫ്രം ദ ഡേറ്റ് ഓഫ് ഓഡിറ്റ് റിപ്പോർട്ട് എന്നാണ്. 60 ഡേയ്സ് ഫ്രം ദ ഓഡിറ്റ് റിപ്പോർട്ട്. ഓക്കെ, വിത്തിൻ 60 ഡേയ്സ് ഫ്രം ദ ഡേറ്റ് ഓഫ് ഓഡിറ്റ് റിപ്പോർട്ട്. യെസ്, കറക്റ്റ്. കവിത കറക്റ്റ്. സോ മൈ നെക്സ്റ്റ് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ടു യു ഈസ്, for how much years I have to maintain this Kuttappan file, this final audit file? For how much years I have to maintain this? 7 years. Please don't say 7 years. 7 years from which date? Sir, not less than 7 years. Yes, good. Minimum 7 years, right? Yes, not less than 7 years means minimum 7 years. You have to maintain this for minimum 7 years. Minimum 7 years, right? Minimum 7 years from the date of audit report. Minimum 7 years from the date of audit report. Am I clear to you? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now my question to you is, yes, I think we have already discussed, you have already learned this in SQC1. Since you have learned yesterday SQC1, you might have already learned all these things there, right? Yes, sir. Now, ownership of audit documentation. Ownership of audit documentation. See, let me tell you one example. Let me tell you one example. I am the auditor of Gauri's company. I am the auditor of Gauri's company. Okay. So I conducted the audit. I submit the audit report. Whatever evidence I have received, I have documented it. So whatever evidence I have received, I have documented it. So once I submit the audit report, I was going back to my home. Suddenly, Gauri asked me to stop. Sanjay sir, please stop there. I asked, what happened, Gauri? So she was asking me, sir, what is in your hand? I said, it's audit documentation. This is called audit file. So she asked me, sir, what is inside that file? I said, whatever evidences I have collected, whatever procedures I have performed, I have documented in this file. Then she suddenly asked me, sir, that means that file contains some confidential or some details about my company, right? I will say, yes, yes, Gauri, definitely, since I have audited your company, definitely the evidence is related to your company. So now she will ask me, sir, file are you guys able to understand the scenario? Okay, so Gauri is asking me to hand over the audit file to Gauri. Since I have audited her company, she's asking me to hand over the audit file back to the company and you may go home. So my question is, who is the owner of this audit file? Who is the owner of this audit file? My question to you is, who is the owner of this audit file? Sir, auditor, sir. Who is the owner of this audit file? Auditor, sir. Who is the owner of this audit file? Auditor, sir. So my next question to you. Auditor is the owner of audit documentation. As said by, who said auditor is the owner of audit documentation? Who said auditor is the owner of audit documentation? Option A, SA 200. Option B, SA 230. Option C, SQC1. Option D, SA 220. Tell me. Who said auditor is the owner of audit documentation? Tell me. Who said auditor is the owner of audit documentation? Tell me. Who said auditor is the owner of audit documentation? Come on. Fatima is saying SQC1. Asia is saying SQC1. Nino is saying SQC1. What about others? Since most of the people are saying SQC1, the answer should be SQC1 itself. Answer should be SQC1. Yes, Praveen is also saying SQC1. Answer is SQC1. So we know SQC1 said that auditor is the owner of audit documentation. Is it mandatory for the auditor to share this audit documentation to the entity? Is it mandatory for the auditor to share his audit documentation to the entity? No, it is not mandatory. Can he share if he wants? Can I share the audit documentation with Gauri if I need, if I feel so? Yes, yes. So it is said here, listen here, last portion of this chapter, See page number 6.11. See, SQC1 said audit documentation is the property of the auditor. At times, students used to get confusion, like they are learning this in the SA 230, right? They are learning auditor is the owner of audit documentation in SA 230, but it is clearly mentioned here. SQC1 is saying that auditor is the owner. See what is said here? He may at his discretion, auditor venamengil make portion means ഇതിന്റെ ഒരു ഭാഗമോ or extracts from means ഇതിന്റെ photocopy make available to the client. So once I complete the audit of Gauri, I will take the audit documentation to my office. But if I feel I can give a part of this audit documentation, I may give the part of this audit documentation or photocopy of this audit documentation. I can either provide the part of this audit documentation. I can either provide part of this audit documentation or photocopy of audit documentation can be given to the client. But one thing should be taken into consideration. What is that one thing? If I am sharing my audit documentation with the client, I have to make sure. Aishwarya. Yeah. Okay. Please listen here. So I have to make sure of one thing. If I am sharing something to my client, it should not affect two things. So first question to you people, is it mandatory? Is it compulsory to share the audit documentation with my client? Answer no. Is it compulsory? No. Is it compulsory? Answer is no. Can I share if I want? Can I share if I want? Yes. Can I share? Yes. But if you are sharing, two things should be taken into consideration. First thing is, it should not affect your independence. It should not affect your independence. Just because you share something to the company, it should not affect your independence. Second thing, it should not affect the quality of your work. It should not affect the quality of your work. Okay, so if you are sharing the audit documentation with the client, two things should be taken into consideration. Point number one, it should not affect your independence. Point number two, it should not have an impact on the quality of the work. Instead of saying the word quality, they have used the word validity of the work. Validity of the work means quality itself. Okay, okay. See, you can see the points here. You can see the points here. See, it should not undermine the validity. Undermine the validity means it should not affect the quality of the work, and it should not affect the independence of the auditor. Are you guys able to understand? Hello, hello, hello. Are you guys able to understand that point? Are you guys able to understand that point? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So once again. So we right now we learned what is audit documentation, what is audit file, what is final audit file, for how much, within how much days we have to prepare this final audit file, for how much years we have to retain this, then who is the owner of this audit document? Who is the owner? Auditor is the owner. Audit documentation is the property of the auditor, as said by SQC1. As said by SQC1. Am I clear to you? Is it compulsory? Is it compulsory to provide the audit documentation back to the client? No. Can I give? Yes. Is it compulsory? No. Can I share? Yes. But two things should be taken into consideration. What are the two things? First one is independence of the auditor. Second one is quality of the auditor. First one is independence of the auditor. Second one is quality of the auditor. It should not affect the independence. It should not affect the quality. Am I clear? Yes, sir. Got it, sir. Got it, sir. Now we are going to learn something called completion memorandum or audit documentation summary, ADS. Completion memorandum or audit documentation summary. Okay, completion memorandum or audit documentation summary. Sir, what do you mean by this audit documentation summary? Just imagine you are auditing a company like Reliance. So just imagine you are auditing a company like Reliance. What will be the size of audit file? Every year they will be having 10 to 12 bundles of audit file. So it is not easy for an auditor to revise all these audit files before the next audit. Okay, so it is very important to maintain a summary of this audit documentation. So this summarized version of audit documentation is called audit documentation summary or completion memorandum. എടാ നമ്മൾ ഓരോ വർഷം ഓഡിറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടി പോകുന്ന സമയത്ത് ഈ റിലയൻസ് പോലത്തെ കമ്പനി എത്ര ഫയൽസ് ഉണ്ടാവും നിങ്ങളുടെ വിചാരം? ഒരുപാട് ഫയൽസ് ഉണ്ടാവും. സോ ആ സമയത്ത് ഈ അടുത്ത വർഷത്തെ ഓഡിറ്റ് പോകുന്ന മുമ്പ് ഈ പഴയ ഫയലൊക്കെ വായിച്ച് തീർക്കാൻ എന്നുള്ളത് ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടുള്ള കാര്യമാണ്. സോ നമ്മൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്യണം? അതിന്റെ ഒരു സമ്മറൈസ്ഡ് വെർഷൻ ചെയ്യും. I used to ask to my audit theory students to prepare your handwritten notes. I always ask my students to prepare your own handwritten notes. Thousands of handwritten notes may be available in the Telegram. But unless and until you take that extra effort to prepare the handwritten notes, you are not going to learn theory. You are not going to learn theory. Okay, so everyone please start preparing your own handwritten notes. Okay, your summarized notes, because it is very difficult to revise from institute study material one day before exam. So you all need some summarized version of this theory. Okay, if you are preparing the summarized version of theory, what are the things you are going to include in it? Are you going to include all the matters in the textbook or only significant matters? Tell me. If you are going to prepare a summarized version of audit, okay, now you are studying essay 230. Once this class is done, I will ask you to prepare short notes for essay 230. So when you are going to prepare short notes, what are the things you will include? Tell me. Will you include everything in the textbook or only significant items? Sir, only significant items, sir. Only key points, sir. Yes. Same way, in our audit documentation summary, in our ADS, in our audit documentation summary, we are only going to include the significant matters we have identified during the audit. Say, for example, I have audited Gauri's company. Once I did the audit, I will prepare an audit file. Okay. Now, from this audit file, I will prepare a summarized version of audit file. My audit file, look at the size of the audit file. This is only summarized version. So what will I include in the summarized version? The significant matters I have identified. The significant matters I have identified and how they were addressed, how I addressed the significant matter. Okay. So what is the importance or what is the advantages of preparing such summarized version, summarized audit documentation? What is the advantage? You can effectively review. See, what is the importance of preparing short notes? Sir, namukku revision pattern cheyan pattum, sir. It will speed up our revision, sir. Same way here. It will facilitate effective and efficient review. It will facilitate effective and efficient review. Okay, wa? Yes. Second one, it is normally useful for large and complex audit. It is normally useful for large and complex audit. It is normally useful for large and complex audit. Okay, wa? So what is the first advantage? What is the first advantage? It may facilitate effective and efficient review. It facilitates effective and efficient review. What is the second point? It is useful for large and complex audit. For small audit, for an audit of small entities, nobody will prepare summarized version. See, why do I ask you to prepare short notes for audit? Because you have a lot of theories to learn. You have a lot of theories to learn. So that's why I ask you to prepare audit short notes. Same way, only for large companies audit only we will prepare what ADS. We will prepare audit documentation summary. Okay. Then what's the third point? It helps the auditor to see whether all the standards are complied. It helps the auditor to see whether all the standards are complied. So what is the three benefit of? Tell me. What is completion memorandum? Tell me what is completion memorandum or what is audit documentation summary? What is completion memorandum or what is audit documentation summary? It is a summarized version of your audit documentation. It is a summarized version of audit documentation. So what is included in this? Only two things are included. The significant matters I have identified and how they were addressed. How they were addressed. The significant matters I have identified and how they were addressed. Sir, what is the benefit of maintaining such summarized versions, sir? You have three benefits. You have three benefits. What are the three benefits? Three benefits are, first one, effective and efficient review. You can review everything easily. So what is the benefit if you prepare short notes? You can revise everything easily. When do you want to prepare short notes? When you have a large amount of theories to learn. So this is useful for large and complex audit. Large and complex audit. Then it also helps auditor to comply with all standards. Helps the auditor to comply with all standards. Am I clear to you? This is all about completion memorandum. You can take a screenshot of this. Okay. Today I am going to give you a homework. Once this session is done, you have to prepare a short notes of essay 230. Okay, you have to take that extra effort to prepare short notes of essay 230. You have to prepare the short notes in such a way that please don't include everything in your short notes. Short notes means it should be a short note. I have seen some students preparing short notes. Finally, their short notes will be even bigger than our study material. Don't do such kind of mistakes. Okay, so prepare short notes. See, this is how you have to prepare short notes. Look at this. This is the short notes for completion memorandum. Only the significant points, only the key points. Okay, wa? Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we understood what is completion memorandum. Next, let's understand. Okay, then we learned this also, assembly of final audit file. Sir, should ADS store for 7 years? Yes. Yes, that is also a part of our audit file. That is also a part of our final audit file. That also you have to store for 7 years. Okay. See, now this one. This we have already learned right now. Within how much days we have to prepare final audit file? Sir, within 60 days, sir. Within 60 days. How much years we have to maintain? Retention period is minimum 7 years. Minimum 7 years. Who said it is minimum 7 years? SQC1 is SQC1. Who said we have to maintain ADS or audit file or Kuttapan file for 7 years? We have to maintain it for 7 years. SQC1. Purida, am I clear to you? Am I clear to you? Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Now just tell me. This is my audit documentation. This is my final audit file. This is my audit documentation. This is my final audit file. Just tell me how this size get reduced. or what actually am I doing to prepare this final audit file? From this audit file, what am I actually doing to prepare this final audit file? I'm not talking about ADS, okay? I'm talking about final audit file. We will delete or discard superseded documentation. We will delete all unwanted documentation. We will sort, collate, cross-reference the work paper. We will keep every related topics will be kept together. All the related topics will be kept together. We will delete all unwanted items. We will rearrange everything and we will keep every related topics together. We will sign off the completion checklist. Sir, what is the completion checklist? Checklist means the list of items that you need to verify. Once you verified everything, you will sign it. That thing you will document. Signing off on completion checklist. Okay, so just to learn any 3 points from this. Any 3 points. Okay, yes. 1.9 is done. Then we learned what is audit file. That also done. Then timely preparation. This is important question. Timely preparation. Okay. So my question is, when do you want to start documenting? When do you want to start documenting? Once the audit is done, you have to start documenting, or at the beginning, or on a timely basis. Sir, what do you mean by timely basis? Timely basis means the moment you are getting something, you will document. When do you want to start documenting? After the audit is done, beginning of the audit, or on a timely basis? Sir, timely basis, sir. Timely basis, sir. So I will ask you another question so that you will be able to relate it much more easier. When should you start studying? When should you start studying? Tell me. When should you start studying? Sir, once all my portions are done, you are attending some classes. Okay. Once all the classes are done, you should start studying, or on a daily basis. Which is more beneficial to you? Tell me. Daily basis, if you are learning, is that going to help you a lot? Or after the classes are done, then only you are going to start studying? Sir, daily basis, sir. Daily basis, sir. Yes. So instead of saying daily basis, we are using here timely basis. Okay. So on a timely basis, sir, what do you mean by timely basis? Timely basis is not meant by, is not equal to daily basis. It may depend. It depends. Okay. So whenever you are getting daily, if you are getting evidence, daily you document. Daily, if you are getting evidence, daily you document. Once in a 2 day you are getting evidence, once in a 2 day you document. So on a timely basis, you have to document. So what is the benefit if you document everything on a timely basis? So it will enhance the quality of audit. Tell me what happens if you're learning everything on a daily basis? It will enhance your quality. Same way, if I maintain everything on a daily basis, it will enhance the quality of the audit. It will facilitate effective and efficient review. I can revise also easily. If you're learning on a daily basis, it will enhance your quality. It will help you to revise everything, right? And also conclusion can be reached even before the audit report is finalized. I can understand what my conclusion is even before my audit report is finalized. If I'm documenting everything on a daily basis, I can come to a conclusion even before my audit report is finalized. So what is the benefit of timely basis? What is the benefit of timely basis of documentation? You have 3 benefits. First one, it enhances quality of audit. It enhances quality of audit. It enhances quality of audit. Second one. What is the second one? Second one, it facilitates effective review. It facilitates effective review. You can revise easily. Third one, you can come to a conclusion. Conclusion can be reached even before audit report is finalized. Even before you complete your audit, you can come to a conclusion. So if you're documenting everything on a daily basis, you can come to a conclusion even before your audit report is finalized. This is the short note for your timely basis. If you want, you can take a screenshot. Clear? Yes, sir. Next, sir, what are the examples of audit documentation? Examples: audit program, analysis, whatever audit program, whatever program you have drafted, you can document it. Whatever analysis you have made, whatever analytical procedure, whatever analysis you have made, you can document. Whatever confirmations you have received from the third party, if you have received some letter of confirmation from the third party, you can document it. If you have received some management, if you have received some representation from the manager, see, confirmations are obtained from third party and representation is obtained from management. Always keep this in mind. Okay. Then checklist. Sir, what do you mean by checklist? The list of items you have planned to check. List of items you have planned to check. For example, I have a list of standards which I have already planned, which I have to provide free classes to my students. Initially, we provide SA 315. Today, I am providing SA 230. So I have made a checklist. Which all standards I need to provide free classes. Okay, which all standards I need to provide regular classes. Which all standards I need to provide revision classes. Correspondence. Correspondence in Malayalam, we used to say ഇടപാടുകൾ. എന്തെങ്കിലും ഇടപാടുകൾ നടന്നിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അത് we have to document. Okay, summaries, etc. This is important. Once this question has been asked, what is audit documentation? What is the example of audit document? These are the examples of audit documentation. Now we are going to learn what is the purpose of audit documentation. Why do we need to maintain this audit documentation? What is the purpose of audit documentation? Why do we need to document everything? So that it will help us to plan and perform the audit. It will help us to plan. If we document everything this year, next year it helps us to plan. Previous year's audit documentation helps us to plan and perform next year's audit. So it helps us to plan and perform the audit. What are we going to document? We will only document those things which we need for future audit. We will not document document. We will document only those things which we need for future audit. We will not document everything what we see. We will document only those. We will only retain those records which is significant for future audit. Then it will facilitate, if you document everything, it will facilitate the DSR. What is DSR? Direction Supervision Review. What is DSR? Direction Supervision Review. Sir, what do you mean by that point, sir? Say, for example, I am auditing Gauri's company. My client, my article is Karthika and Vineet is my article. I am asking them to go and audit and come back. So they will daily, they will go to Gauri's company, they will audit, they will come back to my office. So I will ask them, what have you done there? You have gone there morning, right? What have you done there? So if they're telling something, I cannot see whether they have actually done. They will document their daily activities and they will show it to me so that I can give them direction, I can supervise them, I can review them. Okay, yes, then it enables the, so once they document everything, they becomes accountable. Once they document everything, they becomes accountable. Then facilitates conduct of quality control. You remember quality control review, SQC1, quality control review? Yes. If some person want to review my audit, I need to document something, right? Same way, external inspection. Sometimes some CA firms, external inspection, another chartered accountant will come for inspection. So when he is coming for inspection, he needs something to verify, right? What will he inspect? From the Vayuni inspector? No, we need to provide some documentation so that he can inspect, right? So what is the mnemonic? IDEA PF. What is IDEA PF? P means plan and perform the audit. Plan and perform. F means future audit. A means accountable. E means external inspection. D means DSR. I means internal inspection. This internal inspection is called quality control review. Internal inspection is called quality control review. Okay, yes. So the last topic for the day, what are the things I need to document? What are the things I need to document? Or how much I need to document? How much I need to document? Okay, now you have to tell me, okay, how much you need to document? Tell me. How much should an auditor document evidence? This is the question. How much should an auditor document evidence? Option A, 2 kg evidence. Option B, 3 kg evidence. Option C, 10 kg evidence. Option D, all of them. Or 12 kg evidence. Tell me, how much evidence should he document? 2 kg, 3 kg. Sir, are you making fun of us? Can we say something like 2 kg evidence, 3 kg evidence? No. Then how can we determine? How can we identify? How can we come to a conclusion how much evidence we need to document? See, as an auditor, you have to document such amount of evidence which an experienced auditor who is having no connection, no previous connection with this audit. Sir, can you tell once more? Say, for example, ഞാൻ ഗൗരിയുടെ കമ്പനി ഓഡിറ്റ് ചെയ്യണം. ഞാൻ ആരുടെ കമ്പനി ഓഡിറ്റ് ചെയ്ത്? ഗൗരിയുടെ കമ്പനി. So I have made my documentation. So my question is, ഈ audit documentation ഇത് proper ആണോ അല്ലയോ? ഈ audit documentation മതിയോ ഇനിയും വേണമോ? ഇത്ര മതിയോ ഇനിയും കുറച്ച് വേണോ? ഇതാണ് ചോദ്യം. ഞാൻ മെയിൻറ്റെയിൻ ദ ഓഡിറ്റ് ഡോക്യുമെന്റേഷൻ കറക്റ്റ് ആണോ അല്ലയോ? ദിസ് ഇസ് മൈ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ. Okay, so how can we understand? For this answer is, you have to maintain such amount of documentation which will enable an experienced auditor, who is having no previous connection with the audit. Okay, if my audit documentation is read by another experienced auditor who is having no previous connection with this audit, he should be able to understand these 3 things. If he is able to understand these three things, that means the whatever I have documented is proper. Are you guys able to understand? Hey. Are you guys able to understand? So what is the question? I will tell once again. I will tell once again. Listen properly. Okay. How much documentation should I make? How much documentation should I make? Okay. The answer is not 2 kg, 3 kg, 5 kg, 10 kg. No, rubbishness, right? So how much audit documentation should you make? You have to maintain that much amount of documentation which will enable an experienced auditor who is having no previous connection with this audit. That experienced auditor is having no relation with this audit. If he come and read my documentation, he should be able to understand these 3 points. Which 3 points are? First point, he should be able to understand the nature, timing, extent of audit procedures I have performed. He should be able to understand the result of audit procedure. He should be able to understand the evidences I have obtained. He should be able to understand the significant matters I have identified in this audit. And what are the conclusions I have drawn on these significant matters? What is the professional judgment I took to reach this conclusion? Sir, can you say a little bit slowly, sir? Yes, see. If that experienced auditor read my audit documentation, he should be able to understand these 3 points. What are the 3 points? First one, nature, timing, extent of audit procedure. He should be able to understand what are the audit procedures I have performed, timing, extent. What is the result of the audit procedures? What is the audit evidences I have obtained? What are the significant matters I have identified in the audit? If that experienced auditor read my audit procedure, he should be able to understand what are the significant matters I have identified. What are the conclusions I have drawn on the such significant matter, and what judgment I have taken to reach such conclusion. Significant matters, conclusion, judgments taken to reach that conclusion. Okay, so what do you mean by nature, timing, extent of audit procedure? Nature, timing, extent means what are the items you have tested? What are the items you have tested? Who tested? When tested? Who reviewed? When reviewed? External review. Sir, not understood, sir. Say for example, I am auditing Gauri's company. CA Sanjay is the auditor. Who are the articles of Sanjay? Vineet and who is there? Kartika. These are my articles. Okay, fine. What are the items I have tested? Say, for example, I have tested cash, I have tested bank, I have tested sales, I have tested purchases, I have tested related party transaction. So these are the items I have tested. Okay. Who tested cash? Vineet. Who tested bank? Kartika. Who tested sales? Vineet. Who tested purchases? Again, Vineet. Related party? Kartika. Okay. So my question, what are the items you have tested? I have tested cash, bank, sales, purchase, RPT. Who performed? Vineet, Kartika. Date of the completion. Cash verification was completed on this particular date. Bank verification was completed on this particular date. I have to tell the date. Now, who reviewed their work? CA Sanjay reviewed their work. When date of such review? This cash was reviewed on this date. Cash was verified on this date. It was reviewed on this date. Okay, and extent of such review, whether Sanjay has reviewed 100% or on a sampling basis. So these are the few things you need to keep in mind. You can see these points here. You can see these points here. You see nature, timing, extent of audit procedures, the result of audit procedures, audit evidence obtained. See, experienced auditor who is having no previous connection with the audit. Okay, wow. Yes. See, what are the items tested? Who tested? Date of such testing? Who reviewed? Date, extent, etc. Okay, then what are the things I need to document? Then you need to document if the auditor had any discussion. See, this is our auditor. Who is the auditor? CA Sanjay is the auditor. Okay, this is CA Sanjay. If Sanjay had any discussion with these fellows, who are these fellows? These fellows are management or TCWG. If Sanjay had any discussion with this management or TCWG, I have to document what have I discussed. With whom have I discussed? Management is not one person, it can be a bunch of person, right? So in this management, whom did I discuss and date of such discussion? What, with whom, and when such discussion take place. So what is the next thing I have to document? I have to document the auditor. See this point? Auditor shall document all the discussions of significant matters he had with management, TCWG, as if what is the matter he discussed, when this discussion took place, and with whom such discussion took place. Am I clear to you? Am I clear to you? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And what are the factors affecting the form content and extent? Factors affecting the form content and extent. Size and complexity of the entity. When size of the entity increases, you have to do more audit documentation. Then nature of audit procedures performed, whether you are going for 100% or sampling. If you are going for 100%, more documentation. Then identified RMM. If RMM is high, you have to do more detailed audit so that you will get more evidence. That means more documentation. Then significance of audit evidence. The evidence you are getting is a good evidence, less documentation. Not good evidence, that means you have to go for further audit. So you will get more evidence, so you will be having more documentation. Then audit methodology, whether you are auditing manually or automation. If you are auditing manually, that means more documentation will be there. If you are auditing using automation software, etc., that means less documentation. Nature and extent of exception. Exception means differences or mistakes. Okay, so the differences you have obtained is more serious or less serious. If it is more serious, then you have to maintain more documentation. Less serious, less documentation. Okay, so this is all about what the chapter number 6, essay 230. We took I think 35 minutes to discuss this chapter. 35 minutes. 7:35, 7:40 we started. We hardly took 35 minutes to revise this. And also for the exam time, exam date, one day before exam, you should not take more than 25 minutes to revise this chapter. You should not take more than 25 minutes to revise this chapter. For that, what are you supposed to do? You are supposed to prepare handwritten notes. So your task for the day is, now it is just 8:17, right? So our daily allotted time is 7:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. This is our daily allotted time for auditing. And I know, see, you can see in my WhatsApp group, there is almost more than 100 students are there. But I know 100 students are not going to do this, not going to follow this. Whenever we are saying something is free, everyone will come and join. But only few of the students used to stay consistent. So those who are staying consistent, definitely they are going to have the benefit. They are going to have the benefit. Okay, because consistency is not something which can be done by everyone. It requires a lot of effort to stay consistent. And I can see some faces, I can see some names who have attended all my sessions, irrespective whether it is free or paid. Some of the students have attended all the sessions. I am very happy to know that. I am happy to see that. So your target for the day is you have to sit and prepare a short notes. Use different color pens. Put some time, it's okay. It may take some time, half an hour to 45 minutes to prepare the short notes. It's okay. But once the short notes is prepared, once the short notes is done, you can use that on a daily basis for revision. And prepare short notes on some good notebook. Don't prepare on some random page. Because if you prepare on some random page, that's a possibility it may be lost. So take your auditing notebook, take a fresh page, write essay 230, audit documentation, and write everything. So what are the things you will write? How will you prepare? These are the topics you have to include in your audit. This one, you have to write the definition. You have to write the definition of audit documentation as well as audit file. Two definition you have. Then you have a retention period. How much years you have to retain. Then you have to prepare final audit file within how much days? 60 days. Then who is the owner? Then we said something like completion memorandum and audit documentation summary. Then we said something like timely basis. Then we said something like purpose of audit documentation. Then we said something like this form, content, and extent of audit document. The last topic we learned. Done. This is all about what essay 230. And please, if possible, draw this chart also. This chart will help you. So what is audit document? Record of 1, 2, 3. What is 1, 2, 3? Audit procedures, audit evidence, conclusion. If you want, you can take a screenshot. Done. We are done with today's session. How do you feel today's session? Please tell me. Was it beneficial? Maybe this is a small standard. But I'm very sure for the upcoming exam, 4 mark questions is going to come from this standard. 4 mark question. 4 mark question will be asked from this standard. Okay. So prepare everything. Okay. Prepare short notes, include almost all the things in the short notes. Don't skip any topic. Okay. What I said was you can skip irrelevant things, but don't skip any particular topic. Include all the topic and prepare a short. I will be waiting for your short notes. you have to send me the short note the moment you have completed. Okay, so I hope this session was beneficial for you. You can recommend next session, you can recommend next topic. So with this time we have completed chapter 1 and chapter 11. Chapter 1 and chapter 11. Okay, chapter 1 is done, chapter 11 is done. Sorry, chapter 1, chapter 6 and chapter 11. Right? Yes. So please go through this chapter. It's very important to revise the topics you have already learned. Revision is very, very important. Please do revise this topic. Okay, fine. So that's all for today's class. I hope you enjoyed. Study well. Study well. Okay. Please do recommend our free sessions to your friends so that tell about this group to those students who are super serious. I don't want some students, you can see in the groups a lot of students are there just because it is free, random students will come and join, but they are not serious. So if you feel your friend is serious, please do recommend this to your friends so that they will be also having the benefit. Okay, so anyway, see you tomorrow with the next target. Okay, so happy learning. Enjoy the process of learning, because if you are enjoying only, you can do it on a long-term basis. Don't learn just for the sake of learning. Enjoy this process. Okay, fine. Yes. So thank you. Lots of love. Thank you.